Hello, my name is Monte. Welcome to the Fragrant Juice, where we talk about everything fragrance. And I hope this video finds you doing well. In this installment, we have another treat from a fragrance house that I've really grown fond of this past year in my fragrance journey. If you've been watching the channel already, you know the house, and it's Daniel Josier. And today we're going to be talking about a very unique fragrance that they offer, and that is from the JOTERC collection, and it's New Orleans Soul, or I would like to say Orleans Soul. And it is a EDP Parfum concentration. I have a 100 ml bottle here, and this fragrance is very unique. And what you can expect here in this review, I'm gonna go over what the profile is like, what the notes are to my nose, and what it's been like on my skin. I've given this an extensive 2 weeks of wear where I've been wearing it almost every day and really testing it out and getting a feel for what it's like. I'll talk about what longevity and performance is like. I'll let you know who I think this is for and what purpose or best times to wear this fragrance would be. And I'll ultimately give it a rating, a juice score. And hopefully through that process, you will be able to determine if Daniel Josier JOTERC New Orleans Soul EDP Parfum, that's a big mouthful, is a fragrance you would like to add to your collection. So right off the rip with this, I like the packaging with this one. It's very simple. It has a wooden top here. Daniel Josier, if you aren't aware, has some of the best atomizers I've had in fragrances. Great value for these as well. I got this one at, I want to say I got it at a fragrance outlet, and I picked it up for a promotion where like I bought one fragrance and I got another one, and I think I got this for like maybe 40 bucks or something like that as a deal. Really good still for a 100 ml bottle. And yeah, let me just get right into it. Stop yapping. So I'll get this in the air. You can see, look at that. Tons of mist in the air with this one. And right off the rip with this fragrance in the air, it has almost a floral nature to it. It's definitely got some fruitiness there. And the fruitiness is like a sour type of fruit. In the notes, it talks about how there's mandarin, grapefruit, I believe, plum. There's a lot of different things going on with this, but what I smell with the fruitiness and the opening with this, it's a sour fruit, almost rind-like fruitiness, which can be kind of off-putting right off the rip. So the opening of this is not one of my favorite, but it gets better. As you continue to wear this fragrance, it starts to shine really in the mid and in the base. In the mid, you get a really smooth oud that is not funky or anything like that. It is almost kind of nutty. This kind of reminds me of Creed Royal Oud, but with a take, it's not a clone or anything, but with a take that is more fruit forward with a sour fruit. So imagine Creed Royal Oud in the mid and then the base, some of that kind of DNA. Also, there is some flavor that I get from like a Tierra de Hermes. That type of grassy earthiness is in here. This is actually quite versatile in the mid and the dry down. I think this fragrance thrives the most in cold weather. I've been wearing it the most here late fall, going into the winter, and it's been the best for me in those scenarios. I tried to wear it in the summer, and it got a bit weird, a bit dark and almost kind of off-putting. It had a strange smell in the summer. I really didn't like what was happening, but it started to really click for me in the colder weather. I think the problem is the kind of sourness in the opening can be off-putting to some. Let me get it on my skin here as well, because I have the dry down on this side, and just kind of go over some more of what I'm experiencing with this. What I'll say is the performance on this one is amazing. I get a solid 7 hours with this on skin where I'm getting a mid projection. It's not mid, it's not overwhelming or anything, but people will smell you, you'll smell yourself. Uh, this is not something that's going to get a lot of compliments though. It's more so something like, how do you feel when you're wearing it? Yeah, and it's got a slight sweetness, but what's most prominent here, there is that oud, and there's also some subtle woods in here, and it's very well blended. This is a unique scent. I would say nothing quite smells like this. It has some inspiration, I would say, from Creed Royal Oud, but it's not spot on the same. There's also like a slight earthiness in here that rounds everything out. It's a really, really pleasant scent. It's versatile. I would say ideal. You're looking at fall, winter type of months. 7 hours is what I get with this. It doesn't change much outside of the opening. Once the opening starts to die down, basically for the life of the fragrance, you're gonna get that nutty, kind of slightly sour oud that's smooth, that kind of mellows out. And as a skin scent, you just kind of have this really pleasant, woody type of vibe that's kind of like a nutty version of a Creed Royal Oud in a great way. It's not Creed Royal Oud. That's one of my favorite Creeds, I'm starting to realize, and I'm gonna have to eventually do a review on that. But this is a pleasant fragrance if you like something that's a bit different. You don't want something that smells like everything else. This is definitely not designer. This is definitely niche. This is definitely unique. And it grew on me. I'm gonna say right off the rip, this is not one of my favorites, but as I've gotten more time with it and I've worn it more on skin, I get it. I like that nuttiness, that sourness that's in there. And it's very pleasant. It's soft when it starts to go into the dry down. The dry down is the best part of this fragrance. Ooh, this is a really, really great offering from Daniel Josier. So I like this fragrance. If I had to give this one a juice score, all things considered, I would give this fragrance, I'll give this one a solid 7.5 out of 10. The reason why I'm giving it some knocks is the opening leaves something to be desired. But if you can get past the opening's not bad, but if you could get past the opening and let the mid and the dry down start to come in, and you like Creed Royal Oud, and you like kind of fragrances that you could wear in the office, you could wear every day, you could wear as a signature scent. You really could wear this as a signature scent if you don't live in a climate that's always hot. Because it does have a little sweetness, some fruitiness in there, but it also has some backbone that's oud, that's got some slight woods in there. And I think this also has, it might have saffron in it as well, a little incense. So it's a well blended, well rounded fragrance. I think it's worth checking out with a sample. I'll have links in the description on where you could pick this up. And I've already mentioned it before. If you like this fragrance and you want to pick something else up, I think a good place to look would be Tierre de Hermes. That's a good one. Also, you could look at, I think I have it here, Daniel Josier's Vetiver is another one that's kind of in the same ilk, that kind of gives me the same feelings. This is a good fragrance that you can pick up. This is the Eau de Parfum version. I have a review of this on the channel too that you can check out. That's a good one. And another one is a Creed Royal Oud. Creed Royal Oud is a good place to look if you want something in this profile. This is not that, but it definitely kind of gives me that same type of vibe, which is great. Creed Royal Oud is a very balanced fragrance that you could wear every day as a signature scent. Beyond the opening, this kind of gives me that same type of feeling. So when it comes to who I think this is for, I think this is for a more mature male. This is definitely more of a masculine scent. I would say late 20s, 30s and up, probably even more mid 30s and up. This is a mature fragrance. I don't see, this is not something you're gonna wanna wear out on a night out, if you're trying to get compliments from people and stuff like that. But if you're dressed the part, you want something that has some refinement to it. It has a nice smooth oud, and it lasts 7 hours with a mid to soft projection for the most part. I think this is something that you should really look at. So that's been my review of Daniel Josier New Orleans Soul, the EDP Parfum concentration. Really great offering. Love the bottles and stuff here. Really good stuff when it comes to Daniel Josier's offering. I did another review of this same collection, which is the JOTERC collection. They come in these great bottles, boxes too. Really cool packaging. I like that. I did one on maple cedar. Now, my favorite of the JOTERC so far is actually maple cedar. Now, if you want a gourmand fragrance, if you want something that has a really accurate, smooth cedar note in it, you should check this out. Maple Cedar by Daniel Josier. Starts off with that cedar note, and then it has some cinnamon here that's really accurate. And as it dries down, what really steals the show, there's a vanilla, a really fluffy and dessert-like vanilla shines through with this. And as it projects and dries down, it just gets more delectable and rich. This is a really great gourmand type of scent where it'll surprise you. When it first starts out, it has that sharp cedar note that's not overwhelming, but it's there with some cinnamon, and then it goes into a really, really creamy, fluffy vanilla. Without further ado, I think that's all I have for you today. So if you enjoyed this content, please let me know. It really helps if you like and subscribe and share this content with someone else who you think would find value. I like talking about fragrance. I just want you to smell good. And let me know, have you ever smelled New Orleans Soul by Daniel Josier? If you did you enjoy it? Do you like the note of oud and fragrance? Do you like kind of sour fruit type of fragrances? I know that sounds strange, but it actually works here, especially in the mid and the dry down. And hey, that's all I got for you in this one. Remember, your neighbor's nose is a terrible thing to annihilate. So make sure today you grab something great and you give it a few sprays. And until next time, we'll see you.